I can imagine that it's sort of just been a difficult year for you, having that injury in the first game, coming back, barely playing, and then what's it sort of been like for you right now?
Yeah, I mean that's hard, like mentally hard, like similar injuries, well, we're just on opposite sides. Yeah, I mean I don't know. I guess I just like take it. It is what it is, and then like just move forward.
Was there a point where you started feeling better that you think you'll be able to now like get back in the lineup?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's, when it's healing, you feel like better and better. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was like, I don't know, like all this doctor what like timeline says, like pretty much like fits in.
Are you ready to go? Like, do you feel like you feel ready to go?
Yeah, I feel ready. Yeah.
Kovacevic, it's been quite a long time since we've chatted, since we've seen you around with the gang. What does it sort of feel like to be back, the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, it feels great. Bit surreal, honestly, being able to play again. I'm so excited. It's been a long time coming. I put the work in, so I'm just looking forward to doing the fun part now.
Can you sort of just take me through what the last couple months, the grind has really been for you, and maybe what was the most challenging part of this type of recovery?
Yeah, I would say we have a great staff here that's taken care of me so well. But, the last few months in particular have been the hardest because I'm inching closer to playing, and kind of just the nature of it. As you get further along in the recovery process, the recovery slows down a bit. Like you see those noticeable steps every day at the beginning, and then as time gets going, it takes a little longer. So, a lot of lessons learned through the process, and I guess the biggest one is just focusing on the day and getting better that day. And over time, you stack enough days on top of each other, and you're in a spot where you can play again. So I'm so happy.
As an athlete, you sort of see two things. Like you see when teams are going through tough times versus really good times. What has been harder for you to not be a part of, an 8-game win streak, or really, well, you guys are trying to find your game again, or maybe they're both for different reasons?
Yeah, I would say honestly, it's I was kind of on the outside looking in for both of those, and It's crazy how small the difference is between that 8-game winning streak and now that we're having a harder time finding wins. It's really small details, and to be on the outside looking in, you're not in the emotion of it all. So there's a lot to kind of take away from that, and just sticking to the game. If you do make a mistake, it slips away from you. Like, just stick to your game, because over time you keep sticking to it. You can't be discouraged, because like I said, it's the gap's not as big as you think. I think people say it's but you're never as good as you think you are. You're never as bad as you think you are. So it kind of helps keep a level head when you're on the outside.
Is that, you've been in and out of lineups before, but this is a real extended. Is that a new sort of thing that you really realized from being gone for so long?
Yeah, I'd say I'm always trying to, take a negative situation, try and learn from it, try and see how can I make the most of this. So, I think I'm try to learn lessons as I'm out, and I'm sure I'll learn more as I'm now coming back in and, finding my footing again and all that. So I'm looking forward to it.
Was there a point for you where, doctor's clearance aside, that you felt comfortable with your knee, like just how everything felt?
Yeah, I'd say there was a point, like I've been skating pretty good with the skills coaches here, and there was a point, I can't tell you the exact day, but like there's a few drills where you're like in the back of my mind, or like deep down I'm like, I'm back. Like that's what I think. So, it's a different story, putting it into a game situation, live pressure. I'm looking forward to the challenge, though.
And certainly when you do have the opportunity to come back, we saw you today working with Siegs. There's that familiarity, too, which I assume is also like an important part when you're getting back in there and sort of getting back up to speed.
Yeah, for sure. I think I've played more with Siegs than anyone else, obviously. So having that familiarity, comfortability, and we have a similar game in a sense so I think we, without having to talk about things too much, understand what we see on the play and how we want to play it. So that definitely is huge. It's just, there's going to be some uncomfortability out there. That's going to be a little bit of familiarity and comfortability for sure.
Sheldon, obviously some changes here when you guys were practicing and putting your lines and pairings together. The most notable one would be Dougie paired up with Colton and Covey up there with a regular partner in Siegs. Can you just sort of talk me through how Covey's feeling, and would the intention be to eventually get him in there on this trip if he's traveling?
Yeah, he's feeling good. Today's practice was an important one to get a good feel where he's at and kind of make the determination if he'll travel or not with us. And he is going to travel, and then if he wakes up feeling good, then the intention is to have him play, and then Dougie's the odd man out.
What have you guys missed without Covey in the lineup?
Lots of things. I think his size and his physicality and his presence in both in killing plays on the rush and in D zone, getting things stopped and settled, and I think he's as good a guy as we have in that area for last season. When he goes into close on a guy, he usually gets that player stopped. That is such an important piece to just keep the group organized, because you can get plays killed that much quicker. Everybody knows their responsibilities. You come up with pucks, you can get yourself going. So that's a big part of it. And I think he's our best penalty killing defenseman. We're right there. We went through, it was really apparent. We went through our training camp and preseason, introduction to the penalty kill. Shawsey went through and showed a lot of the clips from last season. Obviously, our penalty killing was very good. And after the presentation, I had to remind him that Covey's not with us there for quite a while, and he was on almost every single clip. So he brings a tremendous presence that way. And then the other part I'd say is he's just got great energy about him, great personality, and the timing couldn't be better in terms of what he can bring to the group in that way.
In that same vein, just talking to him right now, his perspective seems to be something that could probably be very valuable, because what he said to me this morning was, we are right there. Like, it's not as good as it seems, and it's not as bad as it seems, and he's watching it from a different perspective as your players. How valuable can that type of thing be injected into your locker room?
Yeah, he's had a long journey or difficult journey to get really established in the league, but he's been around, and he's got great intelligence about him. Very smart guy, which I think is part of how he's been able to navigate and find his way. So, I think it's great, and as you say, he does have a different perspective. He hasn't been in the day-to-day fight and the ups and the downs.
That emotion, right?
Exactly. So he comes in without any of that sort of baggage. But also, he knows our team really well, and he's been watching, and he comes in with belief and confidence. And it's important to have that. You bring a fresh guy in. Dadonov, similar. Like, you're bringing these guys in. Nemo just played his first game the other night. You're bringing in some fresh guys here that I think can help us in that regard.
Would Dadonov be the same? I know he traveled to Pittsburgh, but would it be the same situation if he's feeling okay tomorrow, he would go in?
Yeah, he practiced today with the intent of playing tomorrow, and at this point we don't see a reason why he wouldn't.
What's your reasoning for Dougie being the odd man out?
Well, I would just like the right side. It's, Nemo coming back in, and want to give Nemo an opportunity to get his game back going. Pesci's not going anywhere, and we just talked about what we think Covey can bring, and want to get him back involved.
I feel like some people might look at it as, he has a restrictive no move clause. You guys might be scratching him in order to get him to waive out. What would you say to that notion?
I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm putting a roster together, a lineup together. I like what Nemo brings, and I think we need more of what Covey brings at this point in time.
Nace, obviously, having this surgery, is it something that will be a while?
Yeah, it's going to be a long-term thing. Something he's been playing with. I would just sort of describe him as capable but uncomfortable. Is kind of how it's been this season for him. Obviously, it's been tough. He had off-season surgery. This has nothing to do with that, but it's just been a nagging thing. Before Christmas, he had sort of some time. We were limiting him in practices and stuff like that. He was feeling a little bit better, but it just continues to linger. And I spoke with him yesterday, and he was going through a tough, decision that he had to make, but ultimately determined to get the procedure done. So I think that's going to happen in the near future. we won't have him available for a while.
Is Zach McEwen skating yet?
No, Zach McEwen's done for the season. He had ACL surgery, so he won't be returning this season.
Thank you, Sheldon.
Yeah, thank you.